Our story begins on a riverbank where the simple act of planting a seed transformed our world. As wild grasses became bred, wandering turned into a home. By the Euphrates and the Nile, communities chose to stay, tethering themselves to the land. Farming stored the sun in grain, and surplus gave rise to new roles, new rules, and the first protective walls. From these fertile banks, towns thickened into cities, and a new human chapter began. With cities came complexity and the need for order. In cool rooms of clay, the first records were kept, of debts owed and harvests counted. Law codified power, and taxes fed the laborers who raised magnificent temples from Mesopotamia to the Indus Valley. The systems born in that ancient dust still echo today in the contracts we sign and the governments we build. Rules created order, and order fueled ambition. With survival assured, thought turned to the purpose of it all. In Greek debate halls and Indian forest hermitages, humanity began to ask not just how to live, but how to live well. States became promises, written and enforced. Philosophers tested the limits of reason, weighed the scales of duty, and asked how to govern a fractured world. These powerful ideas needed communities large enough to carry them across generations. They traveled with pilgrims and preachers, carried along dusty roads as stories and vows. Faiths like Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam offered a new kind of kinship, inviting strangers to become family. Identity was reshaped, shifting from the ties of a single village to a moral map that crossed mountains and deserts. A shared belief, a shared text, could now unite millions. To endure, these vast communities required a framework. Bureaucrats sharpened their tools, managing empires with stamped seals and steady hands. Persian roads, Roman law, and Han registers were all answers to the same challenge: how to bind diverse peoples across immense distances.
This intricate administration set the stage for exchange on a truly global scale. Caravans creaked across the Silk Roads, monsoon winds carried ships across the Indian Ocean, and oases glowed at dusk. Along these routes, not only did silk met salt, but faiths met languages, and new ideas met old traditions. Our modern supply chains still trace these ancient paths, and just beyond the horizon, new sails were being raised, ready to stitch the continents into a single restless sea. The 15th century. Off the coast of Africa, a young deckhand hauls a rope, his breath tasting of brine, his world about to expand. The great Atlantic and Pacific crossings would soon link hemispheres, unleashing both wondrous exchange and human tragedy, as empires built new worlds on plantations and ports. This flood of new knowledge demanded new ways of knowing. Questions hardened into experiments, and telescopes revealed a universe far larger than ever imagined. Steam, print, and reason redrew the map of the possible. Coal-fed engines built new empires of industry, and capitalism expanded across the globe. But as cities swelled, workers organized, and nations imagined themselves into being, the gears of ambition ground the world into global war, not once, but twice, shattering thrones and old certainties. Out of the ruins, the maps were drawn again. Empires dissolved, new countries stepped forward, and a Cold War divided the planet. But even as we split apart, we grew more connected. Satellites replaced radios, rights movements marched, and voices once silenced became law. Today, your phone signal follows ancient sea lanes, and the challenges of migration and a warming climate link all of our fates. The same quest that once tamed rivers now alters our world's very atmosphere. And just beyond this moment, the next force shaping our shared story is already taking form.